I think we make this official, professional. Hello, and welcome to Denim and Pearls.
My name is Dr. Michelle Moras.
And I'm Brian Swanson
We are Denim and Pearls. We are business casual
with Pearls of Wisdom
from the porch.
from the porch. See, we can be professionals.
I was thinking Walter Cronkite.
Walter Cronkite. Oh, no, I was going to say
And
that's
this-
the rest of the story.
That's the rest of the story. But
Yeah, but that's not
him. That's
Cronkite.
not him. Yeah.
No, I
But
can't remember his name.
Yeah.
But
wow.
very much kudos to him because, he like ruled our life there for a long time.
I know. I'm looking for our live because it says we're live, but it won't let me share it.
Oh, well, at this point, what are we talking about?
This is my fight song. That one.
I would never attempt that. My
Take
voice
back my life song.
In fact, it's one of those songs that kind of annoys me in a way, but in
annoys.
another way, it is a great song.
It's a great song, but her voice annoys.
Of course, I'm that way with Whitney Houston and Celine Dion and those kind of.
Oh, speaking about that,
what?
For the several years that Brian and I have been together doing this podcast and run around doing, karaoke bars all over the place, I always thought that he said, "Don't sing Whitney," because I thought I sucked at singing Whitney. And so someone the other day, it was her birthday, and she says, "Oh, your voice would be perfect. Can you please sing Whitney?" I said, "Oh, I can't." And she says, "But your voice would be perfect." I said, "No, I can't." And she says, "Why do you think you can?" I said, "Because Brian says I suck at it." And I went over and I said, "This lady wants me to sing this Whitney song, 'I'll Always Love You.' And I don't want to embarrass myself." And he has, "Sing it." I said, "But you told me I wasn't good at it." He has, "No, I told you no Whitney. Not that you can't sing it. I just don't like listening to it." So all these years, I have been not singing Whitney because I thought I was horrible at it.
I never said that. No Whitney and no Celine.
Perception, right? I heard, "Don't sing Whitney, don't sing Celine," thinking he meant, "Don't sing those. Those are completely out of your range."
No, not out of your range.
I blew it out of the water. It was awesome.
You've done really great at it.
I did. It was really fun.
I just don't like listening to it. But and this is a good life story,
Yes.
especially along the lines of fight song. And I'm not just talking about the misperception of what I said. I'm talking about the fact that sometimes in life you just have to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I could talk about DJ stuff and what you should do and what you shouldn't do, and I could talk about that stuff all day long because it's a matter of people and understanding people.
Mm-hmm.
And you go into it. It used to be really popular when I was actually DJing and not doing just karaoke. But when I do DJing, you can't please all the people all the time.
Hey, where's your mic?
It's right there.
Oh, okay.
It's perfectly fine. At least I hope it is. I don't think I have a recording either. Anyhow, I know it's on. If not, yours is picking up. But when you DJ, the whole thing is to keep the party going.
Mm-hmm.
In most cases, okay? I mean, there are exceptions with the wedding and the dinner with is usually like jazz music and stuff like that. But when it comes to special requests, you can't always play the song that makes one person happy, because that song, number one, may not fit into the format that you're in at the time. Number two, it may really torque off your audience because there are some people out there that like really, really strange stuff. Two, you could three. you could really, you could upset one person, or you can make the entire place happy. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's almost that sacrifice of, taking it to the extremes. When they talk about those battles in war, sacrificing one for the many.
That was I'm pretty sure that was a Star Trek.
It very well
with
could be.
Between Spock and Captain Kirk.
Oh, look at there, Marcel's with us. Hey, Marcel. I don't know if I said that right or not, but and we're talking about fight song today. So the fight song is what motivates you to move forward. So sometimes it's in the music world, okay? And the song fight song may be an inspiration to you to make you drive on to accomplish things that you never thought you could accomplish, or that you're scared to accomplish. Or it could, my goodness, it could be Whitney Houston that drives you to move on. I don't know.
The fight song, when I first heard that song, I was going through my breast cancer journey, and people were always playing that for fighting for your life, basically.
Right.
And I never connected with that song because she sounded too peppy. And in that journey, peppy was not in my vocabulary. It was, I'm gonna fight. And it wasn't
For your
fight
right.
song. This is my, I was like, I am not that mellow. I mean, I was in my head, it was, you've got to fight for your right to live, that kind of thing. So
I don't think that's how that song.
I know, but that's how I sang it. And then my other song was Sia. It was from Sia.
Swinging from the chandeliers.
No, it was Angel by the Winds.
Oh, that's totally different.
Yeah, it was during one
Sia,
of my most traumatic times of my life. And fight song, this is my fight song.
It was too la.
Take back my life song. That is not how I felt. I did not feel mellow. I felt determined.
Well, what's really amazing is if you look, I mean, I don't know how we got onto just music here, but if you look at songs and you look at the words, and
we always listen to, we always watch the words.
We always perceive the music the way that we hear it.
Oh, big song.
We never listen to the, and a lot of times we don't.
A lot of people don't
the actual words or read the words.
Or with this, it's like 80 songs. We grew up listening to 80 songs, and we were always bopping and dancing and singing. And then you listen to them now as adults and do, oh my goodness, that was such a rude song.
There was a lot of a majority of songs out there have some kind of an innuendo in them.
Well, then how about the other one? My ex brother-in-law, he used to always sing, "Wish you would step back from that ledge, my friend," and he was always singing it all peppy. I'm like, that's a suicide song.
This is a suicide song.
Yeah, it's like, so you listen to the words. Now we are completely on a different tangent from fight song.
Well, we are kind of, sort of. The whole point of fight song in the title for this show was the fact of what motivates you to move on to the next thing. And that's music is one of our. We always talk about music being one of our biggest.
It's a motivator because it shifts your mental state. Music changes you. And so we were talking about this because I did 3 nights in a row of the Star Spangled Banner at a local baseball game. The Vibes in Colorado Springs. And the first day I was scared because I didn't know what was happening. They remembered me from the last time I sang it, and I hadn't spoke to anyone, so I didn't know if there was going to be background music. I didn't get to test the mic. They had me standing outside, and it was raining and cold, and so I'm feeling my throat shut, and I'm like,
"Here, sing."
Yeah, and basically that's what happened. All the things happened, and the guy ran by me. He hands me the mic. He goes, "Go, mic's live," and I'm like, "Oh," he goes, "Just start whenever you want to." I'm like, everyone's standing with their hands on their heart. I'm like, if I mess up, if I don't hit that note, the whole place knows I missed that note. But musicians, anyone with a musician, listening to music, whatever you do, you have to hear a note to get the note, to get the first note. I didn't have any time because they were playing, we will rock you, and then they said, here, go.
Oh, say.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
I managed it, and then the second night I was like, I'm worried. My husband's like, why? I do, because I already sang it yesterday. What if I sing it exactly the same and everyone does? Oh gosh, it's her. She sang it exactly the same.
It's the national anthem.
And I'm like, can I up it anyway? So the second night I sang it like a story. I sang it a little slower, and as I was telling, it was really cool. And then last night, I'm like, how do I change this? So I make
it sound like Roseanne Barr.
So I said, oh no. So I sang it really big, and I blew the mic out. And so when you think about what's the title of our
fight song,
the fight song, when you think about that and what happened to me in those 3 nights, that third night is what I thought was going to happen the first night. The mic went out on me.
Yeah, but you didn't even notice it.
I did. But I was singing my big voice. The first night I sang middle. The second night I sang low. I stayed low. And then this third night I said, I'm going to bellow this out. There's a whole bunch of, it was military night, so there was a whole bunch of Navy people there. And I'm like, I'm going to sing this like a fight song. And so I bellowed that thing out, and it's a fight song. I mean, our national anthem is a fight song. It's a we won song. And I blew the mic out. but I was singing at my big voice
Mhm.
that even with my mic going in and out, you can still hear me.
You can find it on our Facebook page, by the way. Behind the camera is me.
It's him. Yeah. But fight
I got to get my credit in there.
Yes.
too.
And I'm like, don't walk. You have to stand still and put your hand over your heart. And he's like, this is a big deal. You should probably be filmed from the front. So he did.
Yeah, instead of the back. Yeah, they'll let you do whatever you need to do out there. And the one thing about, you were kind of wrapped around the axles when it came to
Proper etiquette.
and that's probably the best way to do
Yeah.
it or talk about it. But there are situations where things are different a little bit. For instance, when I was doing it, you're supposed to be facing the flag. We all know that. Put your hand over your heart, salute, whatever your requirements are. But the other thing is too, you also face the music.
And he was facing me. I was the music.
So yes,
I have
or
no-
the speakers in the stadium, whichever.
Yeah, there
Because
was
if
no,
you
there was
cannot
no,
see the flag, you can face the music. It
and
is
there
an
was
exception.
no backtrack. So it was just me and my voice.
Yeah.
So he was facing the music.
Yep.
Cool. But
So
that was
proper
a fight.
etiquette was accomplished.
But fight song is, I did those 3 nights afraid of failure. One, I didn't know the mic. 2, what if I sang the wrong lyric for some weird reason? What if, it started thundering and raining? There was so many what if factors that I couldn't deal with, but I just did it.
But here's the question with our topic here.
Yeah.
What made you do what you were scared of?
What made me, nothing makes me.
What was your fight song that made you do?
What got me to do it even though I was afraid? 1, I love the national anthem. 2, I'm quite patriotic. If you don't know that, now you know. I am very patriotic, and I will not, if I come into a room and there's an opportunity to sing the national anthem and there's someone else who's not too sure, or I know they have a soft voice or whatever, I'm in. Just put me in.
Put me in, coach.
Because I grew up on a military base. My father's military. I've been married military. And so my entire life has been around military life and patriotic feelings towards America. I'm a big patriot. And so when I have the opportunity to sing the national anthem, my mindset is, even if people think I'm horrible, I'm going to sing it with all my heart and it will feel right. Boom.
Well, there you go.
That's why I did it.
That's your motivation.
My motivation is
That's your fight song.
I love America.
Some of the stuff that I do, it's not always a song. It always depends on the situation, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times it's like, here we go again. It's like basic training. We always, I went through basic training twice. I almost said 3 times. Twice. I went through 3 times. I went through for the Air Force and I went through for the Army.
What's the 3rd time?
Just twice.
You said 3 times.
I know. I can't count today. But going through basic training, there's a point, especially in the Army, where they make you low crawl underneath barbed wire, and then they fire machine guns above you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not live fire, I don't think.
No,
but
it just sounds like it.
It just sounds like it. So they make you do that, and it's scary at first when you're standing there waiting your turn to crawl. But then you stop and think, well, wait a minute. There's been a million other
and none of them
soldiers who have gone through this. This should be a cakewalk. So here we go again.
Yeah, it's like they're not shooting at the students.
Right, they're not shooting at me. I should be able to survive.
The thing you need to worry about is just not getting stuck on any of that barbed wire.
Right. Well,
what kind of fight song did you have in your head for that?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Here we go again.
Okay, because I remember
it wasn't necessarily a song.
When I first had my song, a fight song, I was in cross country in high school. And I'm not a competitor. I'm competitive, but racing and stuff, I just wanted to run. I just wanted to be with my friends. I wasn't there to win. I just wanted to be out there, be part of the team. And I remember at one point we were running up a hill.
I'm going to try and make an adjustment here. You keep talking because Dakota's correct. Our camera is going like nuts.
Why is it bouncing?
Because it's trying to focus.
Oh, is it too dark in here?
I don't know what it is, but we're going to make everybody crazy.
It's cricket. Well, anyways, my song during cross country or when I run,
back it off.
is, and you're gonna laugh. The show. Oh goodness, I just forgot the name. Oh, Stripes had just come
Oh,
out,
jeez.
and so I would run with "There she goes, just a walking down the street, singing do a diddy diddy down doody doo." And so that's how I ran. I ran at that beat. That was my fight song because no matter who I was passing at the time, I would sing that song and I would outpace them, and then go in front of them. It's I'm getting dizzy. When the moon is in the seventh house, and move the skirt up because you're too low.
Which I say,
What to say? What the heck?
it's all kinds of wacky, but
I
hopefully
think
that keeps it from jaggering.
The only thing I can think of is that the light is pointing at the wall, so it's not seeing us as
It's our
clearly.
movements for some reason.
Yeah, it's bouncing.
Oh well.
No
Nobody
idea.
watches this anyway.
Well, they're all nobody. Maybe the light, maybe turn the ring light towards us because maybe it's not seeing us. So much for being professional today, like we were attempting to be like Walter Cronkite. Shoot, forget it.
Well, wow, it went crooked from when I walked away. So 30 minutes of the show is getting the camera proper.
No, what's weird is you backed out, so now we can see my tissue box. Yeah, you backed out too much. Anyways, fight song. What keeps you going even when things are going wrong? So like right now, our camera's going all wonky and things are crazy, but do we panic? No, just fix it, keep going. The thing is most of us worry about what other people think when we're messing up, or we perceive that they think we're messing up. Right now, what you're all watching right now. The thing is even when someone messes up, do you get angry because someone has a problem?
Well,
No,
this is the end of the world as we know it.
because you're human and you understand that problems happen, issues happen. You have just now live seen us deal with an issue. And
it's still doing it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to fix it next time. But the thing is apply that to business and life. When things are going wrong, in our case, Dakota said, "Hey, something's going on." Thank you, Dakota.
Well, I noticed it, but I didn't.
Well, the thing is other people in your life see things going wrong in your life. When you have a good friend in your life, they tell you, "Hey, something's up. Are you okay?" Thank you.
Well, Marcel says focus on focus. What a key word for the camera. Focus on the positive, not the negative. The positive, we're still getting our message across, even though the camera's jacked.
Well, the thing is the camera messing up is part of our message. How do you keep going when things are going wrong? What's your fight song? What made Brian say, "You know what, I'll get up and fix it," instead of we just said, "Yeah, forget it. It'll be fine."
I've done that before.
It's no big deal. So it just depends on the situation and when it is. We knew that you're our friends. You know that we're here to share pearls of wisdoms with you, and that the camera angle really isn't a big deal. It messes with your eyes, right? So we fixed it, not just for us, but for all of you. And so thank you for letting us know.
Well, I think a good message out of this of everything you just said, I think it's real time correction. Sometimes we see things and then we just let it go and it screws up everything. But then there's other times we see things and we fix them on the spot and we move on. Now, are we going to delete this video or lose sleep over it because it wasn't quite right?
My shirt's wrinkled. Delete it.
I think everybody out there knows that Denim and Pearls is not in a professional studio and all that other kind of fun stuff. So I don't have $1 million cameras back here that are sliding in and out.
Yeah,
to make it look like the Oprah show.
But say there's two of us here, but it's a one-man show, okay? Because he's running everything. I just sit here and talk. So that's the thing is we have to take in perspective what matters, what's important, what do you need to act on quickly? What if you do act quickly, is it that necessary? I like to, this is going to be a really weird switch. I like to liken it to cooking. How many of you, when you first started cooking, would measure everything to the exact half, whatever, and you would measure everything and make everything so perfect. And then one day you Yeah, that's about a half teaspoon. Yeah, that's about a cup. Yeah, water's not matter. I'll just put in 2 cups. I know it's about 1 cup or so. It'll just boil off, and it still came out the same way.
Yeah, I want to take that to another part of real life, I should say.
Okay.
Kids.
Yeah.
Kid number 1 and kid number 3.
Jeez, in my case, 1 and 2.
Well, 1 and 2, but kid number 1, 2, and 3, because they always do it by the top, the middle, and the bottom, the last. Where the first kid, everything is all in detail, and you're all panicked, and oh my gosh, they're gonna get cold. So
oh my gosh, I
up.
used to wipe everything, clean every toy, wipe everything down. If it fell on the ground, I would take it away and the pacifier, sterilize it, give him a brand new one. The second kid, it fell on the ground, I put it in my mouth, put it back.
5-second rule. Eric, Mr. Speaker Eric Swanson, he says he wants to be kid number 33.
You just go do what you want to. And that's what we're laughing
just
about.
Make sure they got food in the fridge.
By the time they got to me, I was child 4. They're like, did you eat sometime this week? Yes. Okay, good.
I was kid number 1. I was actually raised kid number 1. I was raised an only child, and it wasn't until I was 20 something, whatever, late 20s, that I found my parents and come up with 5 or 6 other siblings, half siblings and such. But I was raised as an only child.
Yeah.
And I didn't get everything that I wanted. I got what I needed.
No, we're not talking about that kind of stuff. I'm talking about when you were a baby. Like, I'm going to pick on my eldest. I am anal retentive overachiever. I would buy all the perfect vegetables and fruit, and I would hand mash all of the food. And this child was so well fed. For her first, I think, 3 years of her life, she thought Greek yogurt, actually it wasn't Greek, but it was European yogurt, was ice cream. And it wasn't not until my sister or my mother-in-law, someone came out to visit us and gave her soft serve ice cream.
Ooh.
And she got that first lick of ice cream and looked over at me. I mean, she was a baby and she looked over at me like, that is not what you gave me for ice cream. And it was like, oh my gosh. But by my second child, I let that poor baby have whatever they wanted. They had an immune system of a shield because they could eat anything. But my first, I protected so much. And then, like Eric says, new mothers, man, they don't trust all of us old mothers. And I was one of them. I didn't trust other mothers who said, nope, don't worry about that. Just pick it up and rinse it. It's no big deal. Put it in your mouth. And I'm like, oh, that's disgusting. I've got to take care of my baby. I'll do a better job. But by the second kid, it's like, yeah, whatever.
Well, I'm going to take this a little different kind of a direction, but I also think that we always do the opposite of what our parents did when we raised our own
that's
kids.
about that sine wave thing.
Yeah, it's always that opposite kind of thing, which is, I think, where we're at now, where we were too kind on our kids, where our parents weren't very kind on us.
Yeah.
Just as a general topic, we were awfully nice to our kids. They let them get away with what they wanted to do in a lot of different ways. We weren't as, I say as because we still have our kids, but
because we were too nice and didn't kick them out. That's why
we didn't kick them out at 18. I tried to. I did actually reverse candles on my kids' birthday cakes.
Really?
Yeah, they started off with 18 candles, and when they got down to 1, they had a year left to go. It didn't work.
So here's the thing: we need to bring
for our fight song.
No, we need to bring it back to a business and fight song. So I'm going to bring back first that whole not wanting to listen to someone before us because this is my new business. I know what I'm doing. It's the same thing as children. With your new business, you have to make everything so perfect. The logo has to be just right. I have to get my color. Oh, wait, that's the wrong shade of red. And we're so focused on all the little details. And you go out into the world to do whatever you do, and they all mess it up. And you end up being known as something else. And the color, because the person printed it, is nowhere near the color that you picked out. And you freak out. It's because when we are new in business, we are like a new parent and a new baby. We overthink everything. By the time you're in business for 3 or 4 years, you realize the things that you were worried about before you could start didn't matter. Get your stuff done first.
Well, I think a good example of it, I love what they call them, metaphors.
Yes, metaphors.
Similes, metaphors.
Metaphor.
Something like I think a good metaphor for that is, especially if you're singing, the first time you sing a song out loud, not just in your head following along on the radio, but the first time you sing it out loud, whether it's karaoke or whatever, you do it the way that you think you know it, but then you learn it and you start making it your own, and you become comfortable with it after doing it a half a dozen times.
Oh, like me, I walk away and just kind of do whatever I want.
Right. So you know the words, but then you can make up the words to go along with it, or change the lyrics, or do whatever, and still feel comfortable about what you're doing. And I think life is that way. Once we learn something, then we can take and we can modify it and everything else.
That's a great analogy.
So also, I'm thinking of a fighter pilot. I just watched a show 2 days ago about a girl that wants to become an astronaut. And she's, I don't think there's too much truth to it, because she gets in the seat of a fighter jet and she's freaked out because she doesn't really know how to, even though she's said that she's a pilot, she doesn't know how to take off. She doesn't know how to fly. She doesn't know how to land.
Is she in a simulator or is she in a real?
She was in a real jet. Okay, she was trying to be an astronaut. But the story was really kind of cool from the standpoint that we're talking about right here, because she got in it. She was like totally freaked out. In the back seat was the instructor who actually knew what he was doing, who talked her through it. Now she's got the confidence to do it again. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I think the same thing goes with everything we do. Once we learn it, then we got the confidence and we have the momentum, and we have, I don't know another word besides confidence to use here, but we can do things differently and change them along the way.
And that is why people join networking meetings and group conferences and things like that. You get into a room of people that are similarly doing kind of what you are doing, so you can watch what they do. And once you realize that if they can do it, I can probably do it and shift it a little bit my way. That is why people go to conferences to learn. That's why people go to networking groups to learn. Thing is, I talk about this on my Facebook. What are you laughing about?
I'm laughing at what Eric said.
Okay, because I can't see. I don't have my glasses. I cannot read that little print.
He says now we're talking about The Color Purple.
Huh?
The movie, The Color Purple.
What about it?
That's what he says. He says, crap, now it's The Color Purple. Great movie.
Huh?
If I follow what he's talking about, I think it's about the effect of overcoming and being and learning and finding your end game.
Oh, okay. So back to what I was saying. You go to these things to learn from people. And this is what I talked about on my Facebook Live this morning on my private page. We keep going to places to learn. There comes a point when you must implement. That is where you need to find your fight song, where you have to break out of your comfort zone of watching other people do what you want to do and step out on your own, out of your comfort zone, into the fear, and just do it how you've learned it and make it your own.
He clarified for us.
Sing your song.
He clarified for us, and it's exactly what you just said. Learn and grow, but then you can use it.
Yeah. So many people. I mean, I've been to conferences where the same people have gone to the exact same conference for years. I disappear and come back years later, and they're
the same
people.
Speech and the same people.
And I'm like,
my gosh.
The problem here isn't the person on stage. The problem is the people in the audience not being brave enough to go do.
Right.
And so I
also think it's the person on stage, because it's kind of like using a teleprompter and saying the same speech over and over.
Well, I don't worry about them. Thing is the people handing the money over for these conferences or these networking meetings, go do. And then when you start doing, you can come back and say, well, what about, I need this next step, or you connect with someone else with the next step. My big frustration, that's what I was talking about this morning, the fight song in most people, they get to a certain point and they do, this is a good song. I like this song. I'm going to just stay right here. I'm not going to do anything else with it, because as long as I have that other person in front of me, right, Eric, you've seen it too, where people just keep watching but never do. That's why I love Eric, because there was like, let's go. Come on. Let's write a book together. Hey, let's go do this conference together. Eric is a mover. He gets people to move. And so that's why he's my friend. That's why he's our friend. What is he laughing
First
at?
of all, he called us seminar junkies, which we're really not.
We're not.
Used to be, but we're not now.
No, not us. Other people. That's what they are. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about seminar junkies where they just want to just keep being in the room of cool people, but they don't want or believe that they could be the cool people. That's why we like Eric Swanson, Sir Eric Swanson, actually.
And then he puts this up.
What?
Thank God for AI, so I don't have to show up anymore.
But see, that's the whole thing.
That's a good point. I like that.
You need to stop just being in a room, but creating what you've been coming to the room for. Because the biggest compliment you can do for anybody you've gone through networking, conferences, whatever, is to go do what they taught you. Go implement. I don't care how you do it, just go do it. And then you can come back and say, hey, thanks.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned because our time is not showing up, so I don't know how long we've been at this.
Oh.
Wait a minute. Who was the first one? Marcel.
Marcel was the first one.
We started at 2:04 and it is now, 12:04.
Yeah.
32. So we're right there where we need to probably come to an end.
Oh, well, geez. Well, that's enough about that. Bye. No. So think of your fight song. What gets you going that will make you say, you know what? I'm going to do it afraid. I'm going to jump and grow wings on the way because life is too short. And as we said in a couple of episodes recently, I think it was in July, you are midway in the year. The end of the year, the new year is quickly approaching. Have you done what you said and promised yourself on New Year's Day? You need to get going on that. Don't be afraid. Go do it afraid. Whatever
we did that one a couple shows ago.
So go do it afraid because the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to be where you are now, but a little wiser. The best thing that's going to happen is you're going to actually move towards what you want. So go do it.
You know, another way I look at things sometimes is everything's a game.
It is.
You make the game out of life. And I don't mean the game that...
Wait a minute. In every job that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun and snap, the job's a game. And every step you undertake becomes a piece of cake, a lark, a spree. It's very clear to see that a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine.
Is this like Mary Poppins?
Yep, medicine.
Oh my God.
Down, the medicine go down just a spoon. So that's it. Go listen to Mary Poppins. She helps you get through things.
I can't say I knew all those words before.
Yeah, and in everything that has to be done, there's an element of fun. Go find that fun. And then whatever you're doing, whatever you're afraid of, you will find a way to get through it because when you're having fun, when you're laughing with your podcast partner, even when you're all messing up, you're having fun and you just keep going.
Well, I'm thinking of when people are trying to recruit. Mm-hmm. Okay. It's a matter of how many no's that you get before you get those yeses. It's all a numbers game. We all know that. But on the other side of it, if you put in your head, it's a game. I have this many no's and I have this many yeses. This is how many no's I need to go through to get this many yeses. Now I can go out there and be competitive even amongst myself or with myself and go, ooh, I've only got 10 no's. I need 10 more to get to a yes. I will find it. Where am I going to find those no's?
I can't read what he said.
So you can...
But anyways.
He says, does Brian have to watch all your replays so he can catch up? Some days. I like actually going back. You know, some people don't like going back and listening to themselves.
I talked about that this morning too. Go back and watch.
But I don't mind it sometimes. Sometimes I come out more impressive than I think I am.
Yeah, you really need to watch yourself. You need to video yourself or listen to yourself. No matter what task you're doing, you do need to kind of track it because you are your worst critic. And if you watch yourself or listen to yourself or go back and read whatever you just wrote for a proposal, whatever, it helps you improve because you are your critic. So you will look at it and you will see problems, but then it gives you the opportunity to fix them. So I love it.
Besides that, Eric, I'm sitting here watching and she's the one who glows anyway. So, I'm just the comic relief. Which was actually a play. I did that in a play one time. I was a comic relief. That was actually fun. But we won't go into that.
Cellophane, Mr. Cellophane. But anyways, fight song. Go find what gets you to get up and fight for what you want. That's basically what we've been talking about.
Pretty much.
Yeah, in a roundabout way. And find a song. I use a lot of songs to keep myself going.
And it doesn't have to be music. It can be somebody.
Yeah, it can be
Who
somebody.
is your fight song? I mean, really, there's certain people out there that motivate us to do certain things.
Well, and most people, when I ask that question in coaching, is people say, I fight for my children. Well, that's nice and dandy. You need something bigger than your children. I know that sounds crazy, but children grow up. And I remember I used to say that my children were my meaning behind everything. They were what everything I did. I did it all for them to make sure they were safe and that they would have a good life and that they would be grown adults that serve the community as good humans. And then when they got older and moved out, they are no longer that core. They're no longer that reason why I do things. My reason now is all the other kids, all the other people who have lost their way. So find something bigger than what's inside of your house, because your children grow up and get their own lives. And I've met way too many people who've gotten lost because their children,
their own house.
They get lost in their mind because they don't have a purpose beyond their children. And when their children go off and start doing their own thing, they do, I don't have a purpose. I don't know what I do. So go find something beyond your children. So keep your children. That's great. But get something outside of your family, outside of your children.
That doesn't mean your dog.
Yeah, and not your dog. Something outside of your family, something bigger than your family core, because they grow up, they move out, they get their own lives. You need to have something that's for you. Okay?
Eric made a statement here, and I think and I'm going to take it really seriously, because he says,
Put it up.
Oh, I can put it up there. I can do that. I'm actually my best critic. Yeah. As opposed to worst critic. It's a more positive way.
And it is, because
I like that.
And that's my thing is, people think criticism is bad. Criticism is the only way you can grow. I said that in my Facebook Live this morning. You don't want the good job. You need someone to say, that second note you did, or, when you wrote that last proposal, it was missing. You want people to find fault in you, because that's how you improve. So yes, be your best critic.
I have a story for that.
Oh, really?
Yes. Okay. As a speaker, way back when I was learning and all these other kind of fun things.
You're still learning.
Always. We always are learning, day for day.
Yes.
I know you're trying to be sarcastic, but day for day. But you got to figure, I always got criticized. I was raised at home with a lot of criticism, a lot of discipline, a lot of different things like this.
Our age group really was.
And I went into NCO Academy and had to do a speech and yada, yada, yada. Get done with a speech, and everybody's getting all these critiques. I get done, and I'm like, well, where's mine? And I get my little piece of paper and it says, good job.
I hate that.
And it says, good job. I'm like, wait a minute. I've gotten critiqued all of my life, and now I do something like this, and you just say, good job? Does that mean I jacked it all up and you're being nice to me? Or does that mean that I actually did a decent job and there's no criticism?
And I always took good job as neutral. They saw nothing great and nothing bad, and you're just there. I always wanted something extreme. So if I got good job, the next time I do it, blow it out of the water, amazing, or I'd purposely do something wrong.
Do something. I did that before.
I would purposely and say, okay, waiting for the critique. And when they didn't give me the critique I knew I should have gotten, I'd leave the group.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of my things. Yeah.
So, anyhow, we should probably fall to the end here.
Yeah, because you really don't want me to get on that topic.
Right. We should go to the end. But I also want to say to Eric, hey, I'm sorry I couldn't be in Scottsdale, right? In Arizona with you the last time. I really wanted to be, and I apologize for not being able to make it. So anyhow, it's great seeing you on here, Eric.
And
he makes things fun.
And he says you don't suck.
He says I don't suck?
Yeah.
Oh,
I read it because it's in big capital letters. I can see it.
You mean that one?
Yes.
I think he was talking about you.
Oh, thank you. So anyways, go out there, be the best version of you.
Dakota's our timekeeper.
Yes, Dakota's our timekeeper. And go be the best version of you. My name is Dr. Michelle Moroz.
And I'm Brian Swanson.
We are Denim and Pearls. We are business casual.
With pearls of wisdom.
From the porch. And if you're in Westcliff tonight, come out to Westcliff, Colorado. I'm singing tonight. 2 hours.
He says he wasn't in Scottsdale. Say hi.
Jeez, that was a great AI because man, your AI guy was a hoot.
He shakes hands great.
Yeah. He hugs great too.
So anyhow, Westcliff tonight.
Mm-hmm.
If you can make it to Westcliff, she's actually doing. I would actually call this your first concert.
It's my first concert. I'm alone, and it's 2 hours, and I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm terrified. But I'm going to go do it anyways.
But I'm there to sound support. So
yeah, and he'll say, "Michelle, you suck. Don't do that song." But anyways, Westcliff, Colorado, at the Be Social Feed Store. It's not new, but it's a reopened restaurant, and it's got a huge patio, and we're going to be on the patio, and I'll be singing.
It's supposed to be nice today.
For 2 hours. So I'm excited. Wish me luck. There is no luck. We create our own luck. So that's it.
That's it.
Like we said before, Dr. Michelle, Brian, Denim and Pearls, be the best version of you. We'll see you next week, Friday.
Call myself Doctor now.
We'll see you next week, Friday.
Dr. Brian.
Noon Mountain Standard Time. Same bad time, same bad channel. Take you. You got to go earn that doctor, man. Bye.
No, I don't.
Peace.
There's other people who use the word doctor with titles.
Peace.
Peace.